On his very first day being claimed by his birth family, he deliberately flirted with his cousin right in front of his parents, because getting thrown out as fast as possible was exactly the plan. He was actually the legendary investment genius known as God C, who had grown tired of the business world and quietly retired to the countryside. He had handed his billion-dollar empire to 4 disciples who each became titans in their own right, and was perfectly content living a simple rural life until a luxury car pulled up and out stepped a couple claiming to be his parents. He was the long-lost true heir of the Lin family, and they had spent 20 years tracking him down. Before he could refuse, they had him in the car. Back at the estate, 2 adopted sons and a cousin were waiting, and when they heard his parents intended to keep him, the room erupted. Next month was the heir selection ceremony, and his arrival was a direct threat. When they mocked him, he grabbed his cousin's hand and called her a great beauty, sending the adopted sons into a rage, demanding his parents throw him out. That was exactly what he wanted, but his parents refused, saying he had suffered enough in the countryside, and to make up for lost time, his father handed him $500 million to prove himself, with a spot in the heir selection and a marriage alliance with the prestigious Bai family on the line. The adopted sons were furious, but the cousin quietly told them not to worry. If they could maneuver him into losing it all, his father would send him packing regardless. They assigned him an investment secretary the next day with a hand-picked selection of stocks, all of which he immediately recognized as garbage about to be delisted. Perfect. He had been looking for a way to lose the money anyway, so he threw $100 million at them without blinking. The secretary smiled to himself, certain the Bai alliance would go to one of the adopted sons once this country bumpkin was gone. What no one knew was that the Bai heiress had her heart set on the legendary God C and refused to marry anyone from the Lin family, though her father gave her one last chance to visit and judge for herself. She arrived just in time to watch the secretary walk him through, burning his entire $500 million in half a day. $200 million on a low-budget film, $200 million on an abandoned amusement park. The Bai heiress left more convinced than ever that the Lin family was rotten to its core. When his father arrived at the office to find employees reporting his reckless spending, he added another billion on the spot, saying the Lin family was worth tens of billions and his son could do whatever made him happy. The adopted sons shifted strategies. Their grandfather, a self-made man who valued the business above everything, would never tolerate such recklessness. The old man was returning from abroad tomorrow, and they planned to use the board meeting to drive him out for good. What they didn't know was that his 4 disciples had been watching their master's every move since word spread that God C had resurfaced and quietly funneled hundreds of billions into the very trash stocks he had purchased. When the grandfather returned and the adopted sons laid out his investment record at the board meeting, the screens were solid red and the old man erupted, overriding his son's pleas and ordering him removed from the family immediately. He could hardly believe his luck until the very next second every single one of those stocks began rocketing upward under a mysterious tidal wave of capital.